Season 1 of Supernatural introduces the brothers Sam and Dean Winchester, whose relationship has grown strained due to their tragic and difficult upbringing. After their mother Mary's strange and unexplainable death when they were infants, in which she was held against the ceiling by an invisible force and then burst into flames, Sam and Dean were raised by their hardened and grieving father, John. John Winchester became driven by the desire to avenge his wife, and trained his sons to be monster hunters in the hopes of finding and killing the supernatural being that killed Mary. Throughout their adolescence, Dean remained loyal to his father, and was forced to essentially raise Sam due to their father's emotional neglect. In turn, Sam grew up resenting his father, and decided to leave the Winchester family's monster hunting lifestyle for good. And so Sam has built a new normal life for himself, attending Stanford University alongside his girlfriend Jessica with the hopes of becoming a lawyer. Sam's new life is upended when Dean arrives, announcing that John has gone missing while on a monster hunt, and Dean now requires his brother's help to find their father. Although Sam is at first reluctant to join his brother, when Jessica is killed in the same way as Mary, he becomes resolved to find John and together rid the world of supernatural evil. As Sam and Dean journey across the country, they take down many nefarious supernatural beings, including ghosts, poltergeists, wendigos, and more, even including a horrifyingly evil scarecrow. The brothers also meet several new human allies, like the bumbling paranormal investigators Ed Zedmore and Harry Spangler, and a friendly hitchhiker named Meg Masters, who strangely repeatedly bumps into the Winchester brothers along their journey. Along the way, Sam even discovers that he has strange prophetic dreams and premonitions of his own. Throughout their adventures, Sam and Dean grow closer together and mend their brotherly bond. Eventually, the brothers find and reunite with John, who reveals that he has discovered that Mary was killed by the demon Azazel. Upon acquiring a magical gun known as the Colt, which has the power to kill any supernatural being, John is finally ready to avenge his wife's death. He reconciles with his sons and finally realizes the importance of family and that their duty to help those in need takes precedence over his own selfish desires for revenge. Unfortunately, Meg just so happens to be the daughter of Azazel and teams up with demons loyal to her father to capture John. And so as the season comes to a close, Sam and Dean must work together to save their father and defeat Azazel. They seek the help of their parents' old friend Bobby Singer, who is a monster hunter who teaches them how to trap demons. They successfully exorcise the demon possessing Meg, whose human body then dies of natural causes. With Meg dispatched, Sam and Dean are able to rescue their father, but unfortunately, Azazel is possessing John's body. The demon reveals that he is killing Sam's loved ones due to a mysterious master plan he has concocted that involves Sam and others like him. As Azazel attacks the brothers, John briefly regains control of his own body and begs Sam to shoot him with the Colt, sacrificing himself to kill the demon. Despite a lifetime of grief, Sam can't bring himself to kill his father, instead shooting him in the leg and forcing Azazel to leave John's body and flee. As Sam and Dean rush the injured John to the hospital, their car is struck by a demon-possessed driver in a semi-truck. I want to cut in real quick and tell you about this video's sponsor, Manscaped, the global men's lifestyle brand that is revolutionizing the landscape of men's grooming. Manscaped's product line includes high-quality tools, formulations, and accessories designed to elevate the grooming experience. And right now, I'm really excited to tell you about their new Perfect Package 5.0 Ultra Hygiene Bundle. That includes the new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Electric Trimmer, Crop Soother Aftershave Lotion, Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Deodorant, and even the Shed 2.0 travel bag as a free gift. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is a really incredible electric trimmer that smoothly and perfectly gets rid of any unwanted body hair. This new version includes dual skin-safe blade heads that have longer, wider, and rounder teeth that cut through even the toughest hair with ease. There are 3 different combs included to adjust the length of the hair being cut, and even more interesting is the foil blade. Once you're done with the trimmer blade, you just easily pop it off and switch in the foil blade for a finish that leaves your skin sleek and bare. It's like having 2 trimmers for the price of 1. There's also a really convenient LED light with a dual temperature feature that really helps light up those hard to see areas on any skin tone. Oh, and did I mention this thing is waterproof, meaning it's easy to clean and you can even use it in the shower. So join the 10 million men worldwide who have put their confidence in Manscaped for all of their grooming and hygiene needs. Head on over to manscaped.com and get your hands on the Perfect Package 5.0 Ultra today. When you use code R&C at checkout, you'll get 20% off your purchase plus free international shipping plus a free gift. That's 20% off your purchase plus free shipping plus a free gift with promo code R&C at manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the recap. In Season 2 of Supernatural, the Winchester family survived the car crash, though Dean is in critical condition with a Grim Reaper named Tessa attempting to take his soul to the afterlife. A desperate John makes a deal with Azazel, offering up the demon-killing Colt gun and his own soul in exchange for Dean's life. And so Dean is allowed to live, while John imparts a final message to his son before dying in his place. While grieving their father, Sam and Dean decide to continue John's mission to find and kill Azazel once and for all. Along their new journey, the Winchesters encounter several new supernatural villains and potential allies. They seek the help of mother-daughter monster hunting duo Ellen and Joe Harvelle alongside tech expert Ash, who reside in a bar known as the Roadhouse. Ash agrees to use his skills to track down Azazel and alert the brothers once the demon is found, but is tragically killed before he can relay his findings. Later, the Winchesters encounter a trickster who summons many deadly urban legends to terrorize a college campus. Sam and Dean get some help from Bobby in defeating the trickster, though unbeknownst to them, he fakes his own death. Elsewhere, the brothers meet the vampire hunter Gordon Walker, who is more ruthless in his monster hunting methods, getting a thrill out of killing supernatural beings, be they villainous or not. Sam and Dean are forced to take down Gordon to stop him from killing an innocent group of vampires. While continuing their monster hunting journey, Sam's premonitions grow more frequent, giving him visions of various strangers dying. As the Winchester brothers encounter more strangers with psychic abilities, Sam begins to worry about the fact that everyone with similar powers to him seems to turn evil. While investigating a town whose people have become infected with a demon virus, Sam miraculously proves to be immune, and that's when Dean reveals that before his death, John warned that if Dean couldn't save Sam, he needed to kill him. Gordon returns and warns Dean that Azazel has been cultivating an army of evil psychics, and declares that Sam must die before being fully corrupted. Dean chooses to ignore his father's wishes and trust his brother's goodness, and has Gordon arrested. Sam is then captured and forced into a fight to the death with all of Azazel's other special children. During this battle, Sam learns that he was chosen by Azazel as a baby and given some of the demon's blood, imparting him with his psychic abilities. In the end, Sam is mortally wounded by a fellow psychic named Jake Talley, who runs off when Dean and Bobby arrive, too late to save Sam's life. Distraught by his brother's death, Dean visits a Crossroads demon to make a tragically selfless deal. Sam is resurrected in exchange for Dean sacrificing his soul to hell in 1 year's time. As the season comes to a close, Sam and Dean race to stop Jake Talley from following Azazel's commands to open a portal to hell and unleash an army of demons on Earth. Though Sam kills Jake, the brothers are ultimately too late, and the portal to hell is open. As the victorious Azazel confronts the Winchesters and prepares to kill Dean, John escapes the portal from hell and attacks the demon. Dean steals back the Colt and uses the last of its bullets to kill Azazel once and for all, while Bobby and Helen Harvelle close the portal to hell. Having fulfilled his purpose on Earth, John bids farewell to his sons and finds peace in the afterlife. As the Winchester brothers prepare to save the world from the hundreds of escaped demons from hell, Sam promises Dean to find a way to save his soul from his deal with the devil. In Season 3 of Supernatural, Sam and Dean Winchester work together to track down and defeat the demons who have escaped from hell. Those demons include the personifications of the 7 deadly sins, and while battling those demons, they are aided by the mysterious but highly skilled stranger Ruby. Ruby reveals herself to be a former witch turned demon who escaped from hell, though promises to be on the Winchester's side in their fight against evil. To prove her usefulness, she helps Bobby create new supernatural bullets for the Colt. As Ruby continues working alongside the brothers, she confesses to Dean that there is no way to save his soul from eternal damnation, and that when his contract is up, he will become a demon like her. And so Dean agrees to work with Ruby to prepare Sam to be the ultimate monster hunting hero so that he will be strong enough to kill Lilith, the new leader of the demons, who rose to power after Azazel's death. As Sam and Dean continue their monster hunting adventures, they encounter a variety of characters. The brothers meet Bela Talbot, a woman who steals supernatural artifacts, including, much to the Winchester's chagrin, the Colt. Dean reconnects with his former lover Lisa and bonds with her young son Ben. Sam and Dean are confronted by Gordon Walker, who has escaped from prison and been turned into a bloodthirsty vampire, whom Sam then has to kill. The brothers once again defeat the villainous Trickster and also team up with the ghost hunting duo Ed Zedmore and Harry Spangler to put an evil spirit to rest. Throughout these adventures, the brothers continue to strengthen their bond. Knowing his time on Earth is limited and resigned to his ultimate fate, Dean teaches Sam how to repair their signature ride, John Winchester's Chevy Impala. Meanwhile, Sam helps Dean realize that despite there seemingly being no way to break his contract, they must hold on to hope of saving Dean's soul. Elsewhere, Bela reveals that 10 years ago, she made a deal with the Crossroads demon to kill her abusive father, and now Bela's deal has expired and her time on Earth is up. Trying to save herself from an eternity in hell, she made a deal with Lilith to steal the Colt and use it to kill the Winchesters, in exchange for her freedom. When the brothers evade Bela's attempts to kill them, she is left unable to fulfill her deal with Lilith, and is thus killed by hellhounds. In the end, as Dean's time on Earth is about to expire, he, Sam, Bobby, and Ruby race to defeat Lilith, which would save Dean's soul. Unfortunately, Lilith outsmarts the hunters, possessing Ruby's body and using her powers to pin down the Winchesters as hellhounds arrive to maul Dean to death and drag his soul to hell. When Lilith attacks Sam with a blast of magical energy, it has no effect on him, terrifying Lilith and prompting her to flee. As the season comes to a close, Sam cradles his brother's body, and Dean finds himself trapped in hell. In Season 4 of Supernatural, Dean is rescued from hell by the angel Castiel. Castiel is on Earth, inhabiting the body of devout family man Jimmy Novak on a mission given to him by God himself. Dean returns to the land of the living greatly traumatized by his experience in hell, which lasted 40 years for him despite only 4 months passing on Earth. After emotionally reuniting with his brother Sam and their surrogate father Bobby, the group joined Castiel and his angel partner Uriel to stop Lilith from breaking the seals on a cage in hell, to unleash the devil himself Lucifer on Earth and bring forth the apocalypse. During the Winchester brothers' newest mission, they encounter many new colorful figures, including a prophet named Chuck who writes a novel series titled Supernatural that is based on visions he's had of Sam and Dean's lives. Sam and Dean then discover that their father John had secretly had a third son, Adam, though the brothers are too late to save their younger half-brother from being tragically killed by a ghoul. The brothers also meet Anna, a fallen angel who agrees to help them thwart Lilith's evil plan. Sam, Dean, and their new angel allies soon begin discovering the dead bodies of several murdered angels on Earth. Theorizing demons are responsible, Dean captures and tortures his own demon torturer from hell, Alistair, for answers. As Alistair is killed by Sam's growing powers, he swears the demons weren't responsible for the angel deaths. Eventually, Castiel discovers that his friend and partner Uriel is the true killer of the angels. Uriel is secretly a devout follower of Lucifer who has been scheming behind their backs to sway other angels to his side to free the devil from his cage, and killing anyone who refuses. Castiel is devastated by this betrayal and allows Anna to kill Uriel. Castiel then confesses to Dean a dark secret about their heavenly mission. Castiel has been molding Dean to be a leader, though their mission was never to avert the apocalypse. The angels of heaven want to bring forth the apocalypse to wage a war against the demons and cleanse the earth into a new paradise. And it is Dean who has been chosen to lead the angels in their war. Dean is horrified by this revelation, and having now spent enough time on Earth to care for humanity, Castiel betrays the angels in an attempt to help Dean avert the apocalypse. Meanwhile, Ruby possesses a new human body and begins a secret romantic affair with Sam. Ruby encourages Sam to further explore his demonic powers, including consuming more demon blood in the hopes of him becoming powerful enough to defeat Lilith. As Sam grows closer to Ruby and develops an addiction for demon blood, his brotherly bond with Dean begins to strain. Ultimately, Sam is able to use his new powers to confront and kill Lilith once and for all. Unfortunately, this was all a part of Ruby's duplicitous plan, as Lilith's death is secretly the final seal to Lucifer's cage. As Sam and Dean work together to vengefully kill the evil Ruby, they are horrified as Lucifer emerges from hell to arrive on Earth. In Season 5 of Supernatural, as Lucifer arrives on Earth to bring forth the apocalypse, Sam and Dean become targets of both heaven and hell. Sam has been molded into becoming the perfect vessel for Lucifer to inhabit, while the angels want Dean to become the vessel of their champion, the Archangel Michael, the angel responsible for originally casting Lucifer out of heaven. Sam and Dean would then be forced into a battle to the death, determining whether the angels or the demons win dominion over the earth, with neither side caring about the millions of innocent people who would die in the battle's wake. And so Sam and Dean team up with their angel ally Castiel to avert the final battle and save the earth. As the Winchesters journey for salvation, they grow more swayed by Michael and Lucifer, further straining their relationship and leaving both brothers contemplating allowing themselves to become the ultimate vessels of heaven and hell. Meanwhile, Lucifer's 4 horsemen of the apocalypse begin bringing hell to earth. The demon Meg returns, possessing a new human body, siding with Lucifer and once again battling the Winchesters. As Joe and Ellen Harvelle join the fight against Lucifer, they tragically sacrifice themselves to destroy a pack of hellhounds. Anna schemes to avert the apocalypse and Lucifer's control of Sam by traveling back in time to kill John and Mary Winchester before Dean and Sam are even born. Unfortunately for her, the Archangel Michael possesses the younger John's body to kill Anna and ensure Dean and Sam's births. Back in the present, Sam, Dean, Bobby, and Castiel receive help from many unlikely allies in their quests to save the world. The trickster returns and reveals himself to be the Archangel Gabriel, whose time on Earth has restored his faith in humanity, leading him to wanting to aid in the Winchesters' mission. He sacrifices himself while passing along the message that the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse all possess rings, which can be used together to trap Lucifer at an eternal cage. The brothers then receive help from the king of the Crossroads demons, Crowley, in locating the 4 horsemen, Pestilence, Death, War, and Famine, and retrieving their rings. After acquiring all 4 rings, Sam decides to allow Lucifer to possess him so he can sacrifice himself to trap the devil in his cage for eternity. Unfortunately, Lucifer overpowers Sam, gaining full control of his body and preparing to use it in his final fight with Michael. With Dean refusing to serve the angels, they resurrect his half-brother Adam to be Michael's vessel. The prophet Chuck tells Dean the location of Lucifer and Michael's final fight, leading Dean, Castiel, and Bobby to race to save the world. As Dean tries to break through to Sam and give him the strength to regain control of his body, Lucifer remains strong and kills Castiel and Bobby. As Lucifer begins attacking Dean, beating him to near death, Sam is finally able to use the power of his love for his brother to temporarily regain control of his body. Sam opens Lucifer's cage, throwing himself and Michael inside, trapping the warring angel and demon for eternity and saving humanity from destruction. Castiel is then revived by God and uses his angelic powers to revive Bobby and heal the injured Dean. As Dean mourns his brother, he tries to put his life of monster hunting behind him and visits his former lover Lisa. As the season comes to a close, Chuck finishes this chapter of the Winchester story, but before ascending into a white light, he promises that this is not quite the end for Sam and Dean. In Season 6 of Supernatural, 1 year has passed since defeating Lucifer, and Dean is still living a peaceful life alongside Lisa and Ben. That new idyllic life is interrupted by the return of Sam, who has mysteriously escaped from hell with a colder and calmer demeanor. Sam reveals that now that he's back on Earth, he has teamed up with hunters from their mother's side of the family, led by their grandfather Samuel. Samuel is on a mission to hunt and capture the Alpha monsters, the original monsters birthed from the villainous entity Eve. Dean agrees to join Sam's mission, hoping to protect Lisa and Ben from danger. Secretly, Samuel is working with the demon Crowley, who has become the new king of hell in Lucifer's absence. In exchange for delivering to Crowley all of the alphas, the demon promises to resurrect Samuel's daughter, Mary Winchester. Crowley believes he can use the alphas to open the door to Purgatory, the realm in which all deceased monster souls go after their death. By consuming these souls, Crowley would have access to near limitless power. Along their new monster hunting adventures, Dean grows concerned by his brother's new demeanor and fears that Lucifer may still be possessing him. Sam shows little regard for others, instead remaining solely focused on completing his and Samuel's mission at any cost. This extends to Sam showing little care for Dean's well-being, even allowing him to be briefly turned into a vampire in order to capture the vampire Alpha. When the Alpha Mother Eve uses a brain-controlling worm to possess Samuel and turn him to her side, the Winchesters are forced to kill their grandfather. grandfather. As Eve arrives on Earth with plans to create an army of hybrid monsters, the Winchesters team up with Bobby and Castiel to kill her once and for all. Eventually, Dean discovers that Castiel was responsible for pulling Sam's body out of hell, but wasn't powerful enough to also free Sam's soul, leading to his new emotionless state. And so Dean seeks out the Horseman Death to help him retrieve Sam's soul, restore his brother's goodness, and put up a mental wall that prevents Sam from remembering his time while imprisoned with Lucifer or the sinister acts he committed while without his soul. As Sam and Dean continue their fight against evil, Lisa and Ben get caught in the crossfire. Realizing they would always be in danger due to his monster hunting life, Dean emotionally asks Castiel to wipe their memory of him so that they can return to their normal lives. Meanwhile, Castiel becomes preoccupied by a civil war in heaven, as the Archangel Raphael wants to free Lucifer and Michael from their cage in an attempt to bring forth the apocalypse once again. As Castiel tries to stop Raphael, he begins suffering from a crisis of faith, doubting God's care of humanity and wondering if he was wrong in helping the Winchesters stop the apocalypse. Castiel makes a deal with Crowley to share the souls of purgatory so they can both become more powerful, but then he betrays the King of Hell. As the Winchesters try to stop Castiel from going too far, the angel distracts the brothers by restoring Sam's memories of his time without a soul, causing great pain and torment. Castiel then opens purgatory and absorbs all of its souls for himself to gain immense power, and uses it to kill Raphael and name himself the new god. In Season 7 of Supernatural, after declaring himself God, Castiel takes up a mission to right the wrongs of the world. Unfortunately, Castiel discovers that some of the souls from Purgatory he absorbed were Leviathans, the first beast created by God. The Leviathans begin corrupting Castiel's actions, leading him to turn to Sam and Dean for help. Unfortunately, the Winchesters fail to save their angel friend, who is killed from the inside as the Leviathans escape him to find new human hosts. And so Sam and Dean must work together to find and defeat the Leviathans before they can assimilate with humanity and take over the world. The Leviathans' leader kills and poses as Dick Roman, a wealthy businessman whose finances offer the Leviathans massive power and control. After developing a romance with a sheriff named Jody Mills and introducing her to the world of monster hunting, Bobby helps Dean and Sam discover a lab the Leviathans were using to create tainted food that would make humans more subservient. Unfortunately, they are caught by Dick Roman, who kills Bobby, leaving Sam and Dean to share an emotional goodbye with their surrogate father. As the Winchester brothers continue their mission against Dick Roman and the Leviathans, they grieve Bobby and are accompanied by his ghost, and many of his hunter allies, including a man named Garth. The ghost of Bobby helps the brothers discover that the Leviathans' ultimate plan is to take over the world and turn humans into their own perfect food source. As Bobby continues aiding the Winchesters as a ghost, his hatred for his killer Dick Roman grows stronger, turning him into a vengeful spirit. Fearing the torment he could cause trying to kill Dick, Bobby asks Sam and Dean to destroy his tether to the earthly world, emotionally and permanently fading away. Meanwhile, after having his memories restored, Sam begins to be mentally tortured by Lucifer, causing him to emotionally break down. Dean learns of a faith healer named Emmanuel who could cure Sam, and the brothers discover that Emmanuel is in fact an amnesiac Castiel, who has survived his encounter with the Leviathans, but has no memory of his life as an angel. The Winchester brothers help Castiel restore his memories, and in an act of penance for releasing the Leviathans and unlocking Sam's memories of hellish torment, Castiel absorbs Sam's anguish into himself, becoming the new host for Lucifer to plague. With Castiel allowing himself to be driven to madness, he is placed in a mental hospital, where the reformed demon Meg agrees to serve as his caretaker. Meanwhile, Charlie, a computer hacking employee of the real Dick Roman, discovers that her boss has been replaced by a Leviathan and teams up with the Winchesters to help take him down. She helps them retrieve a tablet that Dick Roman has been tirelessly searching for. The acquisition of the tablet coincides with a random high school student named Kevin being struck by lightning and having visions of the tablet's glyphs. The Winchester brothers pay a visit to Castiel, who has grown increasingly crazy and explains that the tablet is the word of God. Kevin is drawn to the tablet, and Castiel remarks that he has been chosen as a new prophet. Kevin helps the Winchesters translate the tablet, which explains that the only way to defeat the Leviathans is with the bone of a righteous mortal washed in the 3 bloods of the fallen. As Sam and Dean search for this weapon, Kevin is returned safely safely to his home, only to then be captured by the Leviathans. To craft the Leviathan-killing weapon, the Winchesters retrieve the bone of a righteous mortal from the remains of a nun, and the 3 bloods of the fallen are that of the fallen angel, which they receive from Castiel, the ruler of fallen humanity, which they receive from Crowley, and the fallen beast, which they receive from the alpha vampire. As the season comes to a close, Sam and Dean infiltrate the Leviathan base with their reluctant demon ally Meg and the still crazy Castiel. During the battle, Sam and Meg rescue Kevin, while Dean and Castiel kill Dick with the sacred weapon. In death, Dick explodes, causing Dean and Castiel to vanish. Crowley then arrives to kidnap the new prophet Kevin to serve his own selfish purposes. With Bobby dead, Kevin kidnapped once again, and Dean and Castiel mysteriously gone, Sam is left all alone. In the end, Dean and Castiel find themselves trapped in purgatory, where the souls of deceased monsters will hunt them for eternity. In Season 8 of Supernatural, Sam spends a year feeling alone in the world with Dean and Castiel in purgatory, Kevin kidnapped by Crowley, and Bobby dead. After retiring from monster hunting, he meets and falls in love with a woman named Amelia, though they end their relationship when Amelia's presumed KIA soldier husband comes home alive and well. Meanwhile, Dean has spent the last year in purgatory being forced to fight off monsters every single day to protect himself. Eventually, he and Castiel befriend a vampire named Benny, who helps them discover a way back to Earth. As Dean and Benny flee purgatory, Castiel chooses to stay behind as further penance for his past sins. As Sam and Dean reunite after a year apart, their grandfather Henry Winchester uses a spell to travel from the past to the present to meet his grandsons. He explains that the Winchesters are members of the Men of Letters, chosen protectors of supernatural secrets, and gives them a key to unlock the greatest trove of supernatural knowledge on Earth. A knight of hell, Abaddon, then arrives to steal the key for herself. Though the Winchesters manage to protect the key, Henry is killed in the conflict, tragically dying in the arms of his grandsons. Elsewhere, Kevin manages to escape from Crowley with another Word of God tablet, and reunites with the Winchesters. This new tablet details how to close off hell for good, trapping all demons inside for eternity. To do so, 3 trials must be completed: kill a hellhound and bathe in its blood, free an innocent soul from hell, and cure a demon. Sam volunteers to complete the trials and starts off by successfully killing a hellhound. Next, he goes to hell to rescue Bobby's soul, which has been trapped there after his death due to Crowley's treachery. While escaping hell, Sam and Bobby get caught in purgatory, and Dean's vampire friend Benny chooses to remain in purgatory for eternity to help them escape. Sam then helps Bobby's soul pass on to heaven, officially completing the 2nd trial, leaving only 1 trial, curing a demon, remaining. Castiel then escapes purgatory due to assistance from the angels, one of which, Naomi, tasks him with helping Sam and Dean in their quest to defeat Crowley and report back on all of their actions. Knowing that Sam, Dean, Castiel, and Kevin are attempting to use the demon tablet to close the gates of hell, Crowley kidnaps the angel Samandriel and tortures him into revealing information about an angel tablet. When Naomi discovers that Samandriel has been tortured into betraying his own kind, she forces Castiel to kill him as punishment. Castiel then turns to Sam, Dean, and their old demon frenemy Meg for help in acquiring the angel tablet before Crowley can get his hands on it. Ultimately, Castiel is successful, though Meg is forced to sacrifice herself to thwart Crowley. Having obtained the angel tablet, Castiel is instructed by Naomi to turn it over to her and kill Dean. Castiel's love for Dean allows him to finally break free of Naomi's hold on him and flee with the tablet, serving as its sole protector. Castiel then meets Metatron, the angel scribe of the Word of God tablets, who explains that the angel tablet details trials that would close off heaven from earth. Wanting to force the angels to come to peace with each other and prevent their brewing civil war from spilling over onto humanity, Castiel agrees to help Metatron complete the trials. As the season comes to a close, Dean agrees to help Castiel complete the angel trials, while Sam attempts to complete the demon trials by cleansing Crowley's demonic soul. Unfortunately, Naomi reveals that Metatron has tricked Castiel, as the supposed angel trials are actually just a spell that would cast out all of the angels from heaven. Oh, and if Sam completes the demon trials, he will also sacrifice his own life. Dean races back to Sam to stop him from completing the trial, and the brothers reaffirm their bond and love for each other. Metatron then kills Naomi and strips Castiel of his his angelic essence, sending him back to Earth as a human. In the end, Sam, Dean, the now human Castiel, and the nearly demon-cured Crowley watch on in horror as Metatron completes his spell and all of the angels begin to fall from heaven. In Season 9 of Supernatural, Sam is dying from nearly completing the Demon Tablet trials. Dean seeks the help of the fallen angel Ezekiel, who secretly possesses Sam against his will to heal him from the inside. Meanwhile, Kevin begins searching for a way to reverse Metatron's spell and allow the fallen angels back into heaven. In his mission, he must reluctantly work with Crowley to decipher the real Word of God inscription on the Angel Tablet. As the Winchesters attempt to defeat Metatron and restore the angels to heaven, they also team up with old allies to face off against new monsters. They team up with Charlie to defeat the Wicked Witch of the West, after which Charlie joins the monster hunting Dorothy on a new adventure in Oz. Sam and Dean discover that Garth has turned into a werewolf and now leads a peaceful pack alongside his new werewolf wife, Bess. The Winchesters also run into the ghost hunters Ed Zedmore and Harry Spangler, where they discover that Ed has created a hoax around a monster known as the Thin Man in the hopes of keeping the retiring Harry as his partner. This hoax leads to several very real deaths, prompting Harry to end his partnership with Ed for good. Elsewhere, Castiel is adjusting to life as a human and must contend with an army of vengeful angels led by Bartholomew, who blame him for helping to complete Metatron's spell and casting them all out of heaven. Castiel steals the grace of a vengeful angel, restoring his angelic powers, and discovers that Ezekiel actually died in the fall from heaven, meaning whoever is possessing Sam is not who they say they are. Ezekiel is actually Gadriel, a guardian angel who was tricked by Lucifer into granting him access to the Garden of Eden. Gadriel then became disgraced amongst the angels and was imprisoned for his actions, until the fall set him free. Gadriel meets with Metatron, who has grown bored ruling heaven alone, and the two agree to work together to build a new order in heaven that fits their liking. And so Dean is hopeless as the villainous Gadriel fully takes over Sam's body to side with Metatron. And as a show of loyalty, Gadriel murders Kevin and steals all of the Word of God tablets. Dean and Castiel then seek the help of Crowley to expel Gadriel from Sam's body. Though the Winchester brothers are reunited, Sam resents Dean for having an angel possess him without his consent. In exchange for his help in saving Sam, Dean agrees to help Crowley defeat Abaddon, who has claimed leadership of Hell for herself. To do so, Dean acquires a weapon known as the First Blade, but to power it, Dean must also claim a supernatural mark from the biblical figure Cain. Cain warns that this mark will have a terrible cost to Dean, but the Winchester brother ignores this threat to continue his quest of killing Abaddon. Ultimately, Dean is successful in killing Abaddon, but refuses to rid himself of the mark of Cain and the First Blade, much to Sam's concern. Castiel is then confronted by Bartholomew, who asks him to ally in his angel rebellion, but Castiel is resistant to Bartholomew's more violent methods, leading to the two fighting to the death, with Castiel coming out victorious. With Bartholomew dead, his loyal angel followers turn to Castiel as their new leader in their fight against Metatron to return to heaven. Gadriel grows concerned by Metatron's increasingly evil actions and eventually defects to Castiel's side in the Angel War. Gadriel warns Castiel and Sam that Metatron wants the entire world to worship him as their new god, and that he is drawing his power from the Angel Tablet. As the season comes to a close, Dean confronts Metatron with the First Blade, but is no match for the Angel's new god powers, resulting in the Winchester receiving fatal injuries. Gadriel sacrifices himself to help Castiel reach the Angel Tablet and destroy it, reverting Metatron from a god to an angel. As an angry Metatron rants about ruling humanity and a heaven filled with angels he deems are beneath him, Castiel reveals that he has broadcast his words to every angel, who turn on Metatron and overpower him, locking him up for all eternity. The angels look to Castiel to become their new leader, but he chooses to remain a regular angel, even though his grace is burning out and he will soon die. As Dean succumbs to his injuries, Sam attempts to make a deal with Crowley to spare his brother's life. Instead, Crowley reveals to the dying Dean that in death, the mark of Cain has turned him into a demon. In Season 10 of Supernatural, Dean now lives a demon lifestyle alongside his new ally and leader, Crowley. Crowley manipulates loyal followers of the late Abaddon to attack Dean, allowing him to kill them and satiate his new bloodlust. Sam tries to reunite with his brother, but the newly demonic Dean no longer cares about their familial bond. Even Crowley soon realizes that Dean is going too far, and helps Sam try to restore Dean's humanity. As Sam captures Dean, he trades Crowley the First Blade for his assistant assistance. Sam gets some help from Castiel in completing a ritual that cures Dean of his demonic possession, though the sinister mark of Cain remains tethered to Dean's body. The mark causes Dean to fall further into violent villainy, and Sam becomes desperate to cure his brother of this plight. Cain returns, still possessed by his own mark, and he fights Dean to the death. In the end, Dean kills Cain, but is finally inspired to try to regain his humanity. Castiel then meets a couple of angels who refuse to return to heaven in order to live lives as humans on Earth, inspiring Castiel with the idea that angels would be better off with a balance of human values. Crowley then steals the grace of a rogue angel and gives it to Castiel, fully healing his angelic essence and saving his life. Castiel is then confronted by the teenage Claire Novak, the daughter of Castiel's human host body, Jimmy. Since Jimmy's absence, his wife Amelia has gone searching for him and has been missing ever since. Claire blames Castiel for ruining her family, and the angel helps her find and kill Tamiel, a rogue angel that has killed Amelia. Claire then forgives Castiel, and the Winchesters send the teenager to live with Sheriff Jody Mills, who has continued monster hunting following the death of her lover Bobby. Meanwhile, the witch Rowena was long ago kicked out of the Grand Coven and will now stop at nothing to take control over the Coven for herself. As Dean and Sam team up to try to defeat Rowena, they discover that the witch is in fact Crowley's abusive and manipulative mother. As Rowena continues her quest to gain control of the Grand Coven, she also encourages Crowley to turn on his sometime allies Sam and Dean. In order to help cure Dean of the Mark of Cain, Sam and Castiel use a psychic medium to communicate with Bobby in heaven. Bobby helps break Metatron out of his heavenly prison, as he is the only one with the knowledge of how to cure Dean. Castiel removes Metatron's grace and threatens him for answers, but the failed god confesses he doesn't know how to remove the Mark of Cain. Instead, it is the Winchester's old hacker friend Charlie who discovers that the answers lie in the mythical Book of the Damned. As Sam and Dean steal the book from its villainous owners, Charlie is killed for revenge, causing Dean to fully give in to the Mark of Cain and slaughter Charlie's killers. A desperate Sam turns to Rowena for help in decoding the book, and the witch agrees to offer her assistance in exchange for Sam killing Crowley. Sam attempts to complete this act but ultimately fails. Crowley is saddened by Sam's betrayal and realizes that his actions to become good will never make up for his past crimes. And so Crowley fully returns to his demonic villainy. And since Sam couldn't kill Crowley, Rowena casts a spell on Castiel to make him her loyal attack dog. As the season comes to a close, Dean goes on a killing rampage before finally recognizing his evil ways. Realizing there is no way to remove his Mark of Cain, Dean deduces that the only way to stop his own evilness is to ask the Horseman Death to kill him. Death explains that the mark actually prevents an ancient evil known as the Darkness from taking over the world, and removing the mark from Dean without it passing on to a new host would bring the Darkness to Earth. And so Death offers to take Dean far away from humanity, in exchange for Dean killing Sam to ensure the Winchester brothers stop trying to save each other and wreaking more havoc on Earth. Instead, Dean spares his brother and kills Death himself. Rowena then takes the Book of the Damned to cure Dean of the Mark of Cain, but unfortunately Death's warnings were true, as Dean's curing brings the all-consuming darkness to Earth. In Season 11 of Supernatural, the release of the darkness onto the world has caused humanity's own inner darkness to come to the surface, turning regular humans violently rabid. Amidst the chaos, Sam becomes infected by the darkness and discovers that he can cure himself and others with holy oil. Meanwhile, Dean takes in an orphan baby named Amara, who bears the Mark of Cain. As Amara rapidly ages, Dean realizes that she is in fact the personification of the darkness. Crowley takes in the young girl to raise as his own, feeding her demons and human souls to continue her aging and the growth of her powers, which Crowley hopes to use for himself. When Amara grows powerful enough, she abandons Crowley and attempts to seduce Dean, telling him that they are forever linked due to their shared marks of Cain. Dean realizes that he is in Amara's thrall and can't resist her charms whenever they are around each other, and so Sam promises to find a way to kill her for them both. Meanwhile, Sam and Dean help Castiel track down Rowena to lift her attack dog spell. Castiel then visits the newly powerless Metatron for information about the darkness, discovering that Amara is in fact God's sister, who he sacrificed to create the Earth. Following his infection and curing, Sam begins experiencing visions which he believes are being sent by God to help him defeat the darkness. Unfortunately, Sam's faith in God proves wrong, as the darkness has weakened Lucifer's cage and it is he who is sending Sam his visions. Lucifer insists that only he is powerful enough to defeat the darkness and demands to use Sam's body as his vessel once again. When Sam refuses, refuses, a reluctant Castiel allows the devil to possess him instead. Everyone then begins searching for a Hand of God, artifacts touched by God that could be powerful enough to defeat Amara. Crowley finds one of the Hands of God, the Horn of Joshua, and aligns with the Winchesters in the hopes of using it to defeat Amara, freeing Castiel, and trapping Lucifer back in his cage. Lucifer steals the horn to use against Amara, but his status as a fallen angel deems him unworthy to wield its power. And so Amara captures and tortures him in an effort to draw God himself into battle. The Winchesters are then visited by the author-prophet Chuck Shirley, who reveals himself to actually be God. God has always been fond of the Winchesters and has aided them throughout their various adventures, including bringing Castiel to them. God created the earth and its inhabitants in the hopes of inspiring Amara to not succumb to her darkness, but to no avail, and has regrets about the way he cast out Lucifer from heaven. And as the humans and the angels all seem to devolve into self-serving and self-destructive beings, God lost faith in his creations and abandoned them. But God has now become re-inspired and agrees to help the Winchesters defeat Amara. Dean, Sam, God, and even the reformed Metatron rescue Lucifer from Amara. But as they escape, Amara kills Metatron. God and Lucifer then reconcile, united through a common enemy. They team up with Sam, Dean, an army of angels, Crowley and his demons, and Rowena and her witches to defeat the darkness once and for all. Unfortunately, the assembled army is not powerful enough to defeat Amara, who attacks Lucifer, causing him to flee Castiel's body, and God, whose grave injuries threaten to kill him and bring forth the end of the world. Dean is finally able to get through to Amara and help her remember her love for her brother and recognize the destruction she is causing. And so Amara heals God, saving the world as the two head off to live together in peace. In the end, Amara leaves Dean a gift for his help in reconciling her and God, his resurrected mother, Mary Winchester. And as Sam and Castiel visit their Men of Letters bunker to relax after their latest battle of heavenly proportions, they are confronted by Lady Tony, a member of the Men of Letters London chapter who expels Castiel from the bunker and shoots Sam, leaving his fate unknown. In Season 12 of Supernatural, Tony kidnaps Sam and tends to his gunshot wound, revealing that the British Men of Letters have kept England safe from all monsters, and now want to expand their operation into the United States. Tony then demands that Sam reveals information on all of the hunters living in the US, but Sam refuses to cooperate. Elsewhere, Dean reunites with his mother Mary and explains all that has happened to the Winchester family in the decades following her death. The mother and son then team up with Castiel to find and rescue Sam. The trio prevail, and Tony's fellow British Men of Letters Mick and Ketch arrive to condemn her actions and return her to London. Sam and Dean are happy to have their mother back in their lives, but the decades of torment and loss for the Winchester family all weighs heavily on her, concerning the brothers. After fleeing Castiel's body during the fight with Amara, Lucifer is now looking for a new permanent vessel. Wanting to destroy Lucifer to assert his claim as King of Hell, Crowley begins hunting the devil, accompanied by Castiel and Rowena. After God apologized to him and then immediately abandoned him once again to live with Amara, Lucifer has lost all purpose and now only wants to make humans suffer for fun. Lucifer possesses the President of the United States, Jefferson Rooney, and uses him to conceive a powerful half-angel Nephilim with one of Rooney's staffers, Kelly. Lucifer then sends the Secret Service to arrest Sam and Dean, while Castiel gets the pregnant Kelly to safety. Sam and Dean escape the black site they are incarcerated in, while Mick and Ketch kill every Secret Service agent on site. As Lucifer seeks another new host, he is captured by Crowley and contained in supernatural binds made from the same material as his eternal hellish cage. In Lucifer's absence, the Princes of Hell, the first demons created by Lucifer, arrive on Earth, led by Dagon. With Lucifer captured by Crowley, Dagon offers to protect Kelly and her unborn child. Meanwhile, Castiel is promised that he can rejoin the angels in heaven if he kills Dagon and Kelly to ensure the son of Lucifer is never born. Elsewhere, Mary develops a romantic relationship with Ketch and joins the British Men of Letters, who use cold and violent methods in their attempt to rid America of its monsters. Sam and Dean reluctantly join them, even using the cult to kill the alpha vampire, while also proving to Mick that not all monsters are evil or deserve to die. As the Men of Letters try to track down Kelly to kill her before she can give birth to the child of Lucifer, Mick joins the Winchesters in aligning with Dagon to save her. For his insubordination, Mick is killed by Ketch, who is then tasked with killing every hunter in America, including the Winchesters. When Mary discovers Ketch's villainy, she attempts to warn her sons, but is first captured and brainwashed. Sam and Dean work with a remorseful Tony to rescue their mother and break her free of her brainwashing. Ultimately, Sam leads a group of hunters to storm the British Men of Letters compound and kill them all, while Dean and Tony restore Mary back to normal. As Ketch kills Tony for revenge, Mary kills Ketch, putting a permanent end to the British Men of Letters. Meanwhile, as Castiel arrives to kill Kelly and her child, Kelly assures him that despite being Lucifer's son, the Nephilim has the potential to be good. Kelly then reveals to Castiel a premonition of the angel serving as the benevolent Nephilim's protector. Castiel is moved by this vision and is empowered by Kelly's unborn child to defeat and kill Dagon, now with a renewed belief in protecting the Nephilim from all harm and nurturing its turn to goodness. As the season comes to a close, Lucifer escapes his binds and races to claim his soon-to-be-born son. And so, Crowley teams up with the Winchesters once again to track down and defeat Lucifer. On Lucifer's violent rampage to find his son, he kills the witch Rowena to ensure no one can trap him in his hellish cage ever again. When Sam, Dean, Mary, and Crowley reach Kelly, they discover that she is going into labor. Castiel reveals to them that the Nephilim is so powerful that he has opened a portal to an alternate reality, where Sam and Dean were never born, and the apocalypse has occurred. As Lucifer attacks the group to claim his son, he kills Castiel, while Crowley sacrifices himself to perform a spell that would seal Lucifer in the alternate reality forever. As Lucifer is pulled into the alternate reality, he drags Mary Winchester in with him. In the end, Sam and Dean mourn the losses of Crowley, Castiel, and their mother, before discovering that Kelly has died giving birth to a teenage son named Jack. In season 13 of Supernatural, Sam agrees to look after Lucifer's new son Jack, though Dean is reluctant due to the teenager's seemingly limitless power that he has yet to master. Sam begins to mentor Jack, reminded of his own turn to villainy while addicted to demon blood. Dean remains convinced of Jack's inevitable turn to evil and blames the boy for the death of his best friend Castiel. Wanting to make amends with Dean, Jack channels his power to somehow resurrect Castiel, who awakens in a strange void known as the Empty, a place where angels and demons spend an eternal sleep after their death. As the first angel to ever wake up in the Empty, Castiel is able to escape and return to Earth, happily reuniting with the Winchesters. As Castiel helps the Winchesters mentor Jack, they take him out on monster hunts. During one mission, Jack's unstable powers accidentally kill an innocent civilian, leaving the teenager worried that he will truly turn into the monster that Dean fears he will become. In the alternate apocalypse world, Lucifer keeps Mary alive in the hopes of trading her for Jack whenever they find a way to escape. Eventually, Lucifer meets the apocalypse world's version of Michael, who overpowers the devil and steals most of his grace, which the alternate Kevin uses to open a portal back to Earth. Lucifer escapes through the portal but is seriously weakened after having his grace stolen. Lucifer seeks out Castiel and warns him that the alternate Michael is coming to steal Jack's power, and that the boy must be protected at any cost. Before Castiel and Lucifer can take action, they are attacked by Asmodeus, the final prince of Hell, who wants to take over Hell for himself. Amidst the confrontation, Lucifer and Castiel are separated, with the devil on a hunt to consume the grace of angels in the hopes of restoring his full power, and Castiel reuniting with the Winchesters to warn them of Lucifer's return to Earth. Wanting to help the Winchesters rescue their mother, Jack teams up with a supernatural dreamwalker named Kaya to open a portal to the apocalypse world. Unfortunately, their plan goes awry, with only Jack arriving in the alternate universe alongside Mary, while Sam and Dean find themselves in a world populated by monsters known as the Bad Place. Jody and Claire team up with Kaya to save the Winchesters and bring them home, though Kaya is killed by an alternate version of herself. In the apocalypse world, Jack and Mary meet the alternate Bobby, who is living amongst a small community of humans who have survived a war waged by Michael and his army of vengeful angels. Wanting to prove his heroism to humanity, Jack promises to defeat Michael and save the remaining humans of this alternate dimension. Back on Earth, Sam, Dean, and Castiel discover that to reopen the portal to the apocalypse world, they will need the grace of an archangel, fruit from the tree of life, the seal of Solomon, and the blood of a most holy man. As the trio go on many quests to acquire all of the necessary items, they briefly get pulled into an old episode of Scooby-Doo, where the Winchesters help the Scooby Gang solve a supernatural mystery of their own. Meanwhile, Rowena and Ketch are resurrected by a spell the witch cast before her death. Rowena tries futilely to also resurrect her son Crowley, but to no avail. and so she agrees to help the Winchesters in their fight against Lucifer, hoping to atone for her sins. Meanwhile, Ketch is secretly working for Asmodeus, who has acquired an Archangel Blade, the only weapon which can kill Lucifer, but must be wielded by an Archangel. Asmodeus reveals that the Archangel Gabriel is actually still alive, captured by the villainous Prince of Hell. Wanting to atone for his own past sins, Ketch betrays Asmodeus, stealing the blade and rescuing Gabriel, who in turn kills his demon captor. Ketch and Gabriel then reunite with the Winchesters, who use Gabriel's grace as the final ingredient to open the portal to the Apocalypse world. Unfortunately, Lucifer follows them in, wanting to reunite with his son. In the Apocalypse world, Sam, Dean, Castiel, Gabriel, and Ketch reunite with Jack and Mary. Unsure of how to defeat Michael, the Winchesters decide to evacuate all of the Apocalypse world refugees, including alternate versions of Bobby and Charlie, back to their version of Earth. As the Winchesters lead the survivors through the portal, the group is confronted by Michael, who overpowers Lucifer and kills Gabriel. With everyone else back on Earth, Sam orders for the portal to be closed, trapping Lucifer in the Apocalypse world with Michael. Unfortunately, this leads to the two rivals forging an alliance against their new common enemy. As the season comes to a close, Lucifer and Michael combine their powers to escape the Apocalypse world together to take over the Earth. Lucifer confronts Jack and steals his grace, leaving the son a mere human and the father now imbued with unstoppable power. With no other choice, Dean makes a deal with Michael to become his vessel in order to wield the Archangel Blade in a final fight against Lucifer. With Michael's power, Dean is able to kill Lucifer once and for all, but unfortunately Michael refuses to give up his body, taking full control of Dean and fleeing, leaving the newly united Sam, Jack, Mary, Castiel, and Bobby in complete despair. In Season 14 of Supernatural, Sam Winchester forms and takes charge of a new network of hunters, including his mother Mary, the now powerless Jack, and the alternate universe version of Bobby Singer. Elsewhere, Michael, still possessing Dean, begins using his angelic grace to enhance the powers of monsters, building his own unstoppable army. As this army grows, Michael abandons Dean's body, allowing him to return to his family and friends. Meanwhile, Jack adjusts to life as a human with no powers, and is trained by the alternate universe version of Bobby in the ways of the hunter. As Jack begins to feel more confident in his abilities as a human, he also begins coughing up blood. Jack's human and angel halves are wrestling for control of his body, without his grace to unify him. Despite Rowena's best efforts, Jack tragically dies, surrounded by his newfound family. In heaven, Jack is confronted by the Shadow, the supernatural being that ruled the Empty, who has come to collect the half-angel's soul. Castiel arrives in heaven to save Jack, trading his own soul to the Shadow in Jack's place. The Shadow agrees, but chooses not to take Castiel's soul until the moment he has experienced true happiness. And so, Castiel returns to Earth, and Jack is miraculously resurrected. Meanwhile, Garth goes undercover to infiltrate Michael's growing monster army, but is forced to take some of the Archangel's grace, enhancing his werewolf powers. As Michael leads his new army of monsters into battle against the Winchesters and their hunter allies, the Archangel tries to possess Dean's body once again. With help from Sam and Castiel, Dean is able to overpower Michael's control and trap him within the deepest recesses of Dean's mind. With Michael defeated, his hold over his monsters is severed, disbanding his army. When Michael escapes Dean, he is destroyed by Jack, who absorbs the evil Archangel and restores his own angelic powers. This act sacrifices most of Jack's human soul, leaving Sam and Dean worried over the moral fate of their young ward. Castiel then goes on a quest to find God and ask him to restore Jack's soul. Elsewhere, Lucifer's former human vessel Nick begins acting aggressively, having been corrupted throughout his time of being possessed. As Nick violently hunts down and kills the man who murdered his family, he realizes he misses the power that came with being possessed by Lucifer, and prays for the devil to return, causing Lucifer to wake up inside the Empty. Nick then seeks out the help of demons to open a portal to the Empty and bring Lucifer back to Earth. Jack manages to thwart this plan, banishing Lucifer once again and coldly killing Nick for his evil actions. Unfortunately, the soulless Jack then loses control of his powers and kills Mary Winchester. Castiel tries to revive Mary, but discovers that she has found peace in heaven alongside her late husband John. Jack is distraught by his actions and begins suffering from hallucinations of Lucifer, convincing him that Sam and Dean will never forgive him. Spurred on by the hallucinations of Lucifer, Jack places the entire human race under his mind control, forcing everyone to tell the truth all the time. God finally returns returns to answer Castiel's prayers, warning that Jack is a grave danger to the Earth and must be stopped. He supplies the Winchesters with a gun powerful enough to kill Jack, but will also kill whoever pulls the trigger. Dean agrees to sacrifice himself and confronts Jack with the gun. Jack shows remorse for his actions and accepts his fate, but Dean can't bring himself to kill the boy. God is furious by this turn of events, and the Winchesters finally realize that God views them all as characters in his story that he can torture and manipulate whenever he's bored. Out of spite for their disobedience, God kills Jack and brings forth the end of the Winchester story. A vengeful Sam shoots God with his magic gun, injuring himself as God escapes. As the apocalypse begins, the souls of hell are unleashed on Earth, bringing back all of the monsters that Sam and Dean had previously killed, now all seeking their revenge. In Season 15 of Supernatural, Sam, Dean, and Castiel flee the monsters released by God from hell. Some of the ghosts unleashed on the world turn out to be allies of the Winchesters, cruelly banished to hell against their will. One of those ghosts is the prophet Kevin, who is now free to roam the earth in peace. Another is a hunter named Eileen, who Sam and Dean had saved from a banshee years prior. To contain all of the evil escaped beings from hell, Rowena chooses to consume the villainous souls into herself, and then sacrifice herself to hell to ensure they can never escape. And so an apocalypse is averted, but the Winchesters are left mourning their enemy turned friend. Meanwhile, after being shot by Sam, a weakened God discovers that he shares a new supernatural connection to the Winchester brother, and can no longer leave the earth. When he seeks out the help of Amara, she finally abandons the narcissistic God. Sam begins suffering from nightmares, envisioning himself leading an army of demons to kill Dean and his army of hunter allies. Sam soon realizes that these visions are actually all parts of God's evil plan to end the Winchester story for good, which he can see due to his new shared link with God. This connection into God's mind helps Sam realize that the deity has become weakened after being shot, meaning there is still hope for the Winchesters to defeat him. The newly inspired Sam uses a spell from Rowena to fully resurrect Eileen, and the two even share a romantic date together. The Winchesters then travel to Hell, where Rowena is now queen, to seek out the original Michael, who is still possessing the body of their half-brother Adam. Michael provides the brothers with a spell that can trap God forever, but to do so they would need to acquire a special flower that only grows in Purgatory. As Dean and Castiel venture into Purgatory to collect the flower, Sam is confronted by God, who reveals that if he is trapped forever, there will be nothing to stop evil from overtaking the world. And so, as Dean and Castiel attempt to trap God, Sam stops them, allowing God to heal himself, return to his full power, and escape to begin destroying all of the various worlds he has created. Elsewhere, the new death Billy resurrects Jack from the empty now that God has departed. Billy has imparted Jack with a plan that would make him strong enough to kill God. Jack reunites with Sam, Dean, and Castiel, bringing the makeshift family all back together again. On Billy's command, the group helps Jack enter the Garden of Eden, which fully restores his lost soul. Eventually, Sam and Dean meet Adam, the first man God ever created, who has been secretly behind Billy's plan to destroy their creator. Adam gives Jack one of his ribs, which when combined with Jack's soul, will create a black hole powerful enough to pull in both God and Amara, permanently ridding the world of them both, but killing Jack in the process. Dean is resigned that this is the only way to defeat God, though Sam is devastated at the potential loss of Jack. Searching for an alternate plan to defeat God, Sam meets with the Shadow, ruler of the Empty. There, Sam learns that Billy has been manipulating everyone in the hopes of killing both Jack and God so that she can rule heaven for herself. As Dean moves forward with his plan to kill God, he gets assistance from Amara in trapping the heavenly creator so Jack can destroy him. Sam begs his brother to find another way, as this path will lead to not only Jack and Amara's deaths, but Billy's takeover of heaven and the restoration of the natural order, meaning all of the alternate versions of their friends that they've saved, like Bobby and Charlie, will cease to exist. But Dean remains steadfast in his desire to kill God, seeing these sacrifices as worth it for the greater good. Realizing that Dean is willing to kill her alongside many of his allies, a disappointed Amara allows her brother God to absorb her powers and escape. Furious over having her plan thwarted, Billy attacks Dean and Castiel. Realizing that Billy has the power to kill them all, Castiel devises a selfless plan to save his best friend. Castiel confesses his true love for Dean, allowing himself to finally experience a moment of true happiness. And with that, his deal with the Shadow is complete, causing the entity to arrive on Earth and consume both Castiel and Billy. Dean is heartbroken over Castiel's death, but the losses only get worse, as a spiteful god causes every single living creature on Earth, except for Sam, Dean, and Jack, to vanish. God has left the world empty and lifeless as punishment for the Winchesters' many crimes against him. Eventually they are joined by the Archangel Michael, who offers his help in defeating God, and Lucifer, who reveals himself as God's new favorite, sent to snuff out another failed rebellion. Michael kills Lucifer once and for all, but turns on Jack and the Winchesters in the hopes of usurping Lucifer as God's new favorite. Unfortunately, God shows no love or devotion to Michael for his actions, and kills the Archangel before attacking the Winchesters. As God prepares to kill Sam and Dean, Jack reveals that he has absorbed the power of Michael and Lucifer after their deaths, giving him the strength to completely drain God of his powers. Left as the simple mortal Chuck, Sam, Dean, and Jack decide to spare God's life, forcing him to live a boring existence and ultimately be forgotten by the world. Jack then becomes the new God, restoring the earth to how it used to be, bringing back everyone that God had vanished, and bestowing free will upon humanity before departing for heaven. 6 months later, the Winchester brothers are finally living their lives in peace. After an old unsolved monster case of their father re-emerges, Sam and Dean return to monster hunting to investigate. While successfully eradicating a group of evil vampires, Dean is impaled on a spike and tragically dies in Sam's arms. In heaven, Dean is met by the original Bobby Singer, who graciously introduces him to the perfect afterlife that Jack has crafted, where everyone who has been separated by death can be together again. On Earth, Sam grieves his brother and lives a long and happy life. He gets married, he has a son he names after Dean, and eventually dies peacefully in old age, after which he arrives in heaven and emotionally reunites with his brother.